Hey, what's going on, fight fans? We hanging out with
Kick
Jeff
was
and
having
Chris.
Kick was having some difficulties, and so are computers. And three guys cannot outsmart a computer and figure out what the hell to do when we troubleshoot. So now
This is why I drink.
This is why Chris drinks, and now we have pivoted to the sacred YouTube channel. And you know, guys, this is our first live on YouTube, and I'm liking the setup so far. But you know, we'll get that kick shit situated. Oh, my fault. And you know, we have a good episode today. Though we have a lot of good to talk about. We have a lot of good things to talk about.
Potty mouth.
Hey, I don't swear too much, but that was making me a little upset that we couldn't figure that out.
You're so upset you had a Freudian slip.
I did have a Freudian slip. Hey, watch yourself. But you know, we're back and better than ever. So Coach D, how's it going?
What's going on, people? Like I said, hey, we going through it this time, but yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. And it was just some technical difficulties, and we'll get it all situated. But like I said, we're on YouTube today and testing this out. You know, we're an early startup, and we're growing, and we're loving what we're doing. So Chris, you know, we've got quite a card lined up for us at RAF02. What do you think about that?
Well, we'll gloss over some stuff and kind of go into it because we're going to have, clearly just like last time, we're going to have a whole episode dedicated to breaking down all these matches and talking about, and it'll probably be at the event.
It could be potentially.
Like
yeah.
we will be in College Station to break down this event.
The plan is that we're going to be at Rec Hall for RAF02 and hopefully bring you guys some more behind the scenes content, just like our RAF01 content, and potentially give you guys a match by match, play by play. Who knows? You know, a couple special things lined up.
So there's a couple of things I like about the card, just as in general. You got Marulis versus Stewart, right? But no, look at the weight. Look at the weight of that wrestling.
What do they have it at?
That's 120.
Interesting.
So everyone's got to be thinking what I'm thinking, right? Are we going to see gold medalists versus gold medalists for the RAF title belt at RAF03 with Sarah Hildebrandt and Helen Marulis?
That used to be an old rivalry.
I'm just saying that has to be the setup, right?
You know,
like picture that: 2 gold medalists, peak of the sport. They've accomplished everything they can in the sport, and now there's a new peak in the sport that they'll have to combat each other
for the RAF belt.
Take.
You think they're setting that up? I think because Sarah wrestled at 125, right?
No, they were both 120.
Interesting.
Right? So, like, she's at 120.
You know, that's a topic that I didn't even think about.
That's why I'm the genius here, and you're the mediator.
Wow.
He's
Wow.
He is definitely not the genius.
Wow.
Definitely not the genius, but he just has more time to sit and ponder, folks.
That's true. Because I've earned that. So I think that's got to be
A setup.
one of the big topics of this. Because if you got Hildebrandt and Marulius, who else you putting in a title shot unless you bring somebody in from an international
Japan.
in between?
I mean, that is essentially a super match.
But Marulius just beat every woman in the world
Handily.
that matters.
I guess the
What's up,
question
Darren?
is, who do we got? That's the question. Who do we got? That's gonna make it happen.
Brun's talking.
At that weight, that's the only two we got, I think. I mean, you got. I guess in theory you could have like in a few years you could have Audrey Jimenez or something, right? But you know,
Yeah.
the wrestlers behind them are still pretty young, which is why Marulius was still on the world team as one of the very few veterans on that team, and she still produced.
And not just produced, right? She handled everybody.
Yeah, like the finals was a close match, but she walked her way to the finals.
I'm excited for her to be on this card, and she's wrestling a Canadian national team member. You know, I'm not too well versed in Samantha Stewart and how she is as a wrestler, but I can tell you for sure that on paper I'm taking Helen Morales here.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, look at the end of the day, we all know this is a stepping stone match, and we all want to see Marulius versus Hildebrandt.
Do we?
Who doesn't? Who doesn't? I can't think of one wrestling fan on the planet for both sheer entertainment value and headline Olympic gold medalist versus Olympic gold medalist who's taking home the belt. Who's the champ of champs?
That does seem like a
That would be, think about it. You could have the third RAF event, and you would have a women's title fight at minimum as a co-main event.
Coach, you always talk about a story behind a matchup. Now, Chris is laying down a story.
Well, that's what I was gonna chime in at. Is like, here's where we miss it with wrestling, right? Everybody thinks, meaning Chris, that everybody thinks like Chris, that everybody are wrestling fans, that everybody know what's going on, know the stats. The average fan wants to see the buildup, wants to see the story, wants to see why should these two square off on the mat. Just because Chris know don't mean the world know. You always need a story. Who's better, why? Who's the A side? Who's the B side? Who's number one? Who can beat somebody? Who can take the throne? Who can win the belt? All that has to happen first. Just to put a match together doesn't get it done for the casual fan.
Fair enough.
Hey, I'm telling the world right now and laying the groundwork.
Well,
I'm laying the basement.
But what we're missing out, you think people know you, Chris. You are a stranger.
and Chris, but he is a stranger that is a genius, pronounced Chris.
Your opinion, and go listen. All right. So what I'm saying is you got the reigning Olympic champion versus the reigning world champion, who's also a former Olympic champion,
duking it out for the rap
going
belt.
for a belt.
Now,
women.
I agree with that. The matchup is off the chain. I agree with you there.
Right?
The matchup is the right matchup.
The storyline is extremely easy to build for that, baby. That'll be a barn burner. That'll be a barn burner of a match. That'll have entertainment value and skill value and love of the sport value and good for the sport value. That's a total package home run match.
Probably one of the greatest women matches of all time.
To me, it would be this
Really?
one of the single greatest women's wrestling matches put together to date
Wow.
in the history of the women's sport.
That's a bold statement now.
And I would be
You say
glued
once
to my-
once they match up, they're gonna break records. Once they match up, it's gonna be in the history books as the best female match ever done. That's what you're saying?
that will be the most anticipated women's wrestling match in the history of the sport.
You know, that would be a crazy match, and that's definitely something I'd be looking forward to.
It 100% would be have the biggest buzz of any women's wrestling match on planet Earth since the beginning of women's wrestling.
Interesting.
I will go to the grave. I will die on that hill right now.
All right, Raph.
Wow.
And it's time for you guys to pick it up after Helen Morales wins this match. But pivoting away from this super match,
I have So go ahead.
Right.
Go ahead.
the International Wrestling has arrived to RAF 02. Now, this is something that we have talked about for a while, right, Coach?
Yep.
Right? We've talked about, this is real American freestyle, right? And we talked about, the level of American wrestling is off the chains, right?
Yep.
But outside of American freestyle wrestling, there are the likes of Iran, Japan, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, all the stands, right? And that these wrestlers want that coveted belt. And to see that these international wrestlers come so early on the second card, I think it builds an immense amount of hype.
Well, also to be fair, it's effectively an America versus Russia card with the internationals. Like
Technically.
And who's gonna think about, you're talking about real American freestyle. Who's gonna want to jump in and spoil that parade faster than anybody? The Russians. The Russians hate when America, because they have this beef where we haven't been allowed to be on the scene and we got to wrestle for UWW and do all this stupid shit. And since we've been sitting on the sidelines, that's the only reason America's been smoking people.
And we're going to come take these belts from you.
And they're full of shit. They're full of shit. Because Iran smokes them just like everybody else does.
Well, I'll say this. That says a lot about RAF, is that they've already broke enough ground that competition from around the world wants to happen now. We're only in RAF 2. And now we want to have international competitions already where they want to come. So that says a lot.
And here's another interesting little tidbit.
I love a tidbit from Chris. Let's see it.
What's the other professional freestyle wrestling league that's that RAF is competing with and already doing better than, even though they've had 10 events already?
The Claw?
PFL. What country of origin is PFL? Russia. So why are all these Russian fights?
Snyder wrestle in PFL?
No.
Maybe
once.
Okay.
So, but why are all these Russian?
The origin of PFL is where?
Russia.
The motherland, I guess.
Yep.
Okay, that's news to me. I gotta look that up. All right, look at Chris bring some new news.
So
shocking.
Why are all these Russian wrestlers in Real American Freestyle instead of their Motherlands League?
It's because the competition at Real American Freestyle, the coveted belt.
Exactly.
Right?
There's no Americans in their league. That's why. That's why that league sucks.
Wow.
Okay.
Chris.
All right, Logan. I agree. Better comp and RAF. Better comp at RAF. I would agree.
Facts.
I don't see. I mean, I've seen PFL, but I don't see them giving out a coveted golden belt.
I mean, they've had 10 events, and I haven't seen a single one because they don't market it worth a shit.
I've seen clips on TikTok.
Exactly.
But...
It's like, and you know what? You know where you see the clips at? You see PFL clips on Flow, but you don't see RAF clips. Like, what are we even talking about right now?
Conspiracy theory.
Okay, so it's called PFL. What's the full name? I got confused for a second. What's the name of?
I'd have to Google it.
All right, fight fans, my bad. I thought he was talking about PFL, freaking here in the States, the MMA promotion. I go, what the hell are he talking about? All right, my bad.
It's a wrestling league that's supposedly
okay,
Russian origin.
I'm the dumb one here. So yeah, y'all go ahead and go with that one.
But
I was going to pick a fight.
I think the international wrestlers arriving to the scene at RAF 02 so early is massive. I mean, we saw how many international wrestlers after these American wrestlers grabbed the belt at 01 talk their crap on social media, right? They were ready to get in the ring and take these belts from the Americans. I mean, I think it's going to be a great showdown. Not surprisingly, but we do notice, right? RAF 02, the card itself is smaller than the first one.
Yeah, I caught that too.
RAF 01 had about 10 matches or 9 matches. This one has 7. So
there's 8.
This was 7.
8.
Eight matches. Eight
There's
matches.
8.
Yeah, it's all right.
Bro. You got. That's less than you have fingers. You can count that.
Whoa, calm down, Jamal.
That's funny.
Whoa, Jamal.
That's
Calm down.
funny. Hey, so okay, I have a question for the both of you. Who do you consider your headliners? Looking at the card, who are your headliners, or who do you think is going to make the most impact?
Well, so I think the biggest one that is
I'm sorry. Hold on. Pause that just for a second. It's the PWL,
Professional Wrestling League.
Professional Wrestling League.
Okay.
He is indeed not a genius. He messes up.
You know what? I corrected myself and I admitted it, right?
Hell yeah.
The only reason I saw that was because during contract talks was Zahid Valencia to wrestle it.
At PWL?
PWL 10, yeah.
Interesting. I'm sure he'll come to Rap.
He'll recognize it, come home. Don't worry about it.
I'm sure he'll
Don't
come to
worry about
Rap.
that.
But, so back to your question, Coach. I think the most notable wrestler to talk about here is Mason Parrish's return
Okay.
to wrestling. He's the main event as well. He's wrestling, what was his name?
Romanoff.
Romanov. I was probably gonna butcher that. So thanks for saying that. But you know,
That's the easiest Russian name that's possible to pronounce, bro.
well, I couldn't see it. I was probably gonna say Magomedov or something like that.
Jesus.
But
We kind of on one today, aren't we?
we are one. But I think
Yeah.
the 25-minute late start and behind the camera anger that nobody saw is catching up to us.
Yeah, we was
But
catching it. I ain't gonna lie.
But I'm not going to lie. Like I said, I think Mason Parrish is the most notable match on this card. You know, after the Olympics, he kind of took a step away, was doing a lot of side quests, you know, finding himself, I believe, you know, as any person should do. And now he's back. Now he's back.
Well, I'm going to root for Paris because he's an Indiana boy.
Indiana boy.
So we got to root for that all day long. But
Yeah.
what I do like is that Downey Varner's in the same weight class as Paris Romanoff.
Well, that
So-
weight class is unlimited.
So yeah, exactly. So you got a potential Varner Paris, Varner Snyder Paris, Wyatt. I don't think Wyatt's going to hold that belt very long, to be honest with you. With who they're popping in here, just
Yeah.
Olympic champ, Olympic qualifier, like
Olympian, yeah.
world, you know, multiple age group world champ, like.
I honestly don't think.
But for me, the headliners are definitely. I think the main event should be Tomasello RBY. It's for a belt, right? And I think having a non-championship fight when there's championship fights in the card is not as the main event.
Yeah.
Is that the only championship?
Is kind of sketch to me.
There's 2 championship fights.
There is. But my point is, you got championship bouts on the card, and neither one of them is the main event,
Yeah.
right?
Now,
Or
like
co-main,
and that, you know, that's the kind of questions when you talk about a new promotion, right? Certain things should already be, you know, written in stone that whoever holds the belt is the main event. That's across the board, has always been the case, right? So I have to look at it as growing pains, but that how are you in a room and nobody asks that question when you have belts on the card? So yeah, it's one of them things. Like me as Coach D, people who know me, these are the hot topics that I go fire on and go, okay, look, I got to burn somebody for this one. That don't make no sense, but
Well,
I give them growing pains.
Now, I would understand it if Snyder was still wrestling Paris, right?
Yeah, that was a matchup I
But
was so excited for.
On top of the fact it's not a title fight, it's also you have a substitute in the fight. It's not Snyder anymore. Like once Snyder pulled out, they should have dropped that fight down the card
and moved Cal Dake
and
or
put the two title fights as the 2 last fights, right? But like you said, they might have the reasonings that none of us know about.
Well, I'm thinking
It could
if the
It could be
contract
a
was
logistical thing.
if the contract was signed as the main event, right? Then he probably
maybe-
couldn't drop it. They probably couldn't drop
Yeah,
it.
right. Maybe there's certain monetary contract stipulations in a main event fight versus a non-main event fight.
Yeah.
That's a possibility. We don't know all the details of that. We're just saying from an optic standpoint as fans, right? It's our opinion based on that as pure fans and what we're used to seeing, right? But I would say Thomas Lowe RBY would be a main event for me. And anytime you get Dake in there, it's gonna be
fireworks.
Entertaining, fireworks, super enjoyable match to watch,
especially when he's wrestling an international.
So Dake's always a card, and I think the guy he's wrestling is a world medalist. I'm pretty sure.
Chat, I need you to fact check him.
I'm pretty sure Mandulia is like a world silver, maybe.
Makachev.
I think he's like a world silver.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I can't remember off the top of my head, but
okay, I'm missing. So Dake is returning. Who else is returning?
Well, you got Tomasello.
Tomasello.
He wrestled in After One.
There you go.
He is an Olympian.
It's a brand new card.
Yeah. Makachev also wrestled in the Olympics so Dake's wrestling a guy who was in the Olympics. So the opponent's no slouch.
Yeah.
So the Muggsy Henschel match, right?
I don't know where the hate is coming from.
No,
in that match.
I don't have any hate for it. Actually, the part of it I like is the fact that the weight class says open.
Yeah.
So what they've just done is created a open division in a professional league, which no professional league has an open division to begin with.
We just call it the influencer division.
No, it just gives you so much flexibility because you can basically have any match you want to fill a card for like an opener or like they have a very specific storyline for, and you just call it open division. There's no belt. There's no pressure.
It's just a match.
It's literally a division for pure entertainment purposes.
And here's the thing.
Built into a professional league.
These two may be two of the most recognized on this card when it comes to the next generation of fans, right? They're gonna bring fans that was not even thinking about wrestling until they got on this card.
Yeah, Coach, you make a great point there. I saw you posted out on your social media pages talk about that match, and it's getting some heat, right? You saw that it's getting some heat.
Yeah. And
you brought up a great point. Muggsy and Caden combined have a bigger audience than some of our American, like our best American freestyle wrestlers.
Yeah.
They have Muggsy is almost at 1 million followers on Instagram, but if we want to compile all of his accounts, he's surpassed 1 million. Mm-hmm. Caden is quickly approaching 1 million followers. The outreach that those two guys have for the sport it's far beyond what any of our actual wrestlers have,
Yeah.
And
minus the biggest
minus
names.
if Jordan, you want to call Jordan Bros, but Muggsy still has a higher reach than that because of his follower count and where he gets to. But
I saw his post. Where, like I said, he was fired up. He was like the heat that he was getting. He says who is bringing attention like I am. He says prove what I'm doing wrong. He says prove what I'm doing is wrong. I will help you get better at being a showcase if you just get on board instead of hating me. Be a part of what I'm doing. So I was like,
exactly.
Well, he's making a fair point.
And he does so much for the sport. Sorry, Chris. He makes wrestlers look good. Even though he hasn't wrestled at the collegiate level, international level, he doesn't have the accolades that some of these wrestlers have. But the content that he puts out for wrestling, who he partners with, what he does for wrestlers, and growing the combat sports realm, he makes wrestlers look good. So I think having him on the card is a good matchup. It's good for Raph.
Because the number one thing that I can't say I don't like it about wrestlers, I wish they would do it, is everybody is so respectful that nobody won't call anybody out. If I'm the best wrestler, and I know I'm the best wrestler, I come from the best gym, I got the best coach, I come from the best college, I got the best record, all right? I will say, who can beat me? If you think you're good, I'll meet you at RAF and we can figure this the F out. But everybody is so respectful and ways to be so decent and so all this crap. We don't get no call-outs. We got to hunt for a call-out. So now we got two guys on here who don't have none of the accolades that some of these stars on this card does, and they're getting the most attention because they're willing to talk shit in the process. That's the era I come from.
I think it's twofold, right? One, there's nothing like the average wrestling fan hates more
Let me see that pen.
than a cocky wrestler. So that's problem number one, right? Like, as soon as you do the things you're talking about, wrestling fans in general will 100% turn on you.
Yeah, that's just the
At least
core of the sport.
At least that's what I've seen, because sportsmanship's like one of the pinnacles, like top of the food chain
In
pyramid
wrestling.
of.
Okay,
the thing, right?
Chris, describe cocky. Because at the end of the day, you still got to go up against the guy, and he still got to win. So if he's winning and he's beating everybody, is it being cocky?
Look, I'm just telling you from being in the community for over half my life that wrestling fans in general do not like shit-talking showboaters.
You know, and
They're like, wrestling fans are even worse than like NFL fans. Like that NFL fans, like I wish they just hated the ball to the ref, stop celebrating every play, don't dance in the end zone. Those old school NFL fans, right? Or baseball fans, like these bat flips are so disrespectful. Blah blah.
let me
blah,
scoot
blah,
in on this
right?
dance.
You know what I
Right?
mean?
So
I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm just telling you the reality.
no, that's fair. Let me scoot in on this dance. So wrestling at its core, right? You know, I've wrestled all my life. I'm sure people in our chat, you know, you guys can agree. You guys are wrestling people. The thing about wrestling, right, that is different from UFC, NFL trash talk, NBA trash talk, right? As wrestlers, the sport at its core is built on respect, tough, gritness, the self-interest to drive and become a better person.
Letting your wrestling
talk. And as a wrestler, right, when I line up on the lines, whatever, and I shake hands with another wrestler, like I understand at a high level wrestler will be exact that I know what you're going through as well and how hard you train. And I also, wrestling is not easy to do. So there's a certain level of respect that you have for your opponent. And, you know, obviously, Coach, I agree. I do think maybe, you know, if wrestlers were a little more open with their trash talk, a little bit more creating a show, like, you know, sort of a McGregor vibe, right? You know,
Well, I mean, it don't even got to be that. It don't even got to be that crazy, that over the top. I'll give you an example. How I became Coach D. Most people don't know. People used to get mad
how
at
he
me.
became Coach D.
You know, people used to get mad at me. It was, how the F do you call yourself a coach? Because nobody knew I was a coach before I became Coach D. They didn't know that I coached fighters, amateur fighters, and we went all over the place with my fighters. So they didn't know I was an actual coach. And people used to get hot. They used to challenge me live. But what happened was, whenever we would have a match and we were going into a different state, no one knew who we were. No one knew who the fighter was. So therefore, there was no conversation being had about my fighter from nobody because nobody knew us. So I had to go online and go, this is my fighter. He's coming to this state to put it on this fighter. They started talking junk back to me. It became a thing. Everybody got on board, and that's how Coach D was born. I had to talk some noise to get people to find out who my fighter was. That's how we got started. Now, it wasn't about shit talking. It was about, hey, I'm coming to your state to fight. That's how we got started.
Now,
Coach D.
Now
The origins of Coach D.
I do think that as it progresses, I think wrestling fans will be significantly more forgiving of professional wrestlers doing it, and they'll come to understand why they're doing it, and X, Y, and Z, right?
Yeah.
Because wrestling fans aren't used to having a professional league, right?
Yeah.
All the wrestlers we watch are also student athletes, basically.
Yeah, and at the international level,
There's that second level of the way we expect student athletes to behave, right?
Yeah.
So that's been tied into the sport for decades, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I think as RAF grows and wrestlers themselves get more comfortable with the show of it, right? As they get more comfortable being in front of the camera, being in front of the microphone, you know, getting a better and better understanding of the importance of the entertainment value on and off the mat. Like, I think it's all, we got to remember, it's not just a learning experience for Raph and what they're doing. It's also a learning experience for all these wrestlers who are now in an environment they've also never been trained to operate in either.
Yeah.
So we also have to allow for the wrestlers themselves to grow into that role, and the fans will adapt.
You know, when
I think
we talk about entertainers in the sport of wrestling or in sports in general, but if we want to talk about entertainers, and Coach D, I'm gonna shout this guy out, and you look him up after this, you'll be like, yeah, this is the guy. Raph's got to go get this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Chris, you might remember, his name is Jet Strickenberger from West Virginia. Now, this guy, he is the guy that will trash talk. He's the guy that will showboat, be an entertainer. You know, he got fined from his school for when he pinned the guy. He hovered over him.
Yeah, it's like shot him.
Yeah.
Boo, 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 boo.
You know, that is what wrestling. That was what this pro wrestling needs. You know,
They need an AJ Ferrari.
AJ Ferrari. That's another wrestler.
They need an
AJ Ferrari, a Jet Strickenberger. You know, those are the type of wrestlers who will. And Darian Caldwell did do it. He did do it at the press conference. He got in Railwood's face.
That wasn't a good idea.
It wasn't.
I mean, I'm saying do it with respect, but engagement is good for the sport. If I can go, this is how I'm gonna beat you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Nothing. It don't gotta be that crazy. It's gotta be like, look, if you can beat me, I'd like to see you try. You know, something that gets the blood going. We're Americans. We just got a national incident at a golf tournament because somebody went crazy at the U.S. Open and was talking about the Europeans. The Europeans said they ain't never coming back. You know, American can go to the left so quick, it makes no sense. But that's who we are.
Yeah, the Europeans, they get super butthurt by our trash talking in the stands. That's true.
They do, but
once again, good example though, because golf is a sport built on
tradition,
etiquette,
gentlemanliness,
respect, and gentlemanliness, and all that stuff, right?
Logan, I got for the chat. If you're still watching, you know, who's someone in mind you think would be Raph's Conor McGregor? You know, Chris, is that AJ Ferrari for you?
AJ Ferrari could do it.
I think Jet Strickenberger's one.
Austin DeSanto could do it because people hated Austin DeSanto in college.
Oh, they hated him.
But he wrestled dirty. He did everything.
Who do you think could be Raph's Conor McGregor? You know, that help. Like Conor McGregor, like Coach, correct me if I'm wrong here, but Conor McGregor has helped build UFC to what it is because of the crowds he brought in.
Well, that
Conor McGregor. What made Conor McGregor so good? He wasn't even the best fighter, but he knew how to sell his fight. He knew how to. I mean, he went off the rails, and Khabib liked to kill him, but before that, he knew how to sell a fight, right? When he knocked out Aldo in 13 seconds, like he said he was gonna do, he became an iconic star. So if a wrestler goes, look, I'm gonna pin you in the first round, and then does it, boom, that's a man selling his skills.
That would be a extremely ballsy thing to say out loud, and if someone were to actually do that, and then actually pin a dude in the first round, I would literally jump off this cooler and over this table.
I'd buy stock
when it happened, and I might destroy my basement because it would be the craziest thing I've ever seen.
I'd buy stock in that guy.
Yeah, I would literally.
Look what happened to Wyatt, and Wyatt didn't call out nothing. But how many people was expecting Wyatt to win against Gable? How many was expecting him to win?
Nobody.
You know what? Though?
I think only
exactly
his coaches and his coaches and him.
You know what though? To be honest,
now what if he would have talked us a little bit of shit like I'm going to beat Gable, and then beats him?
He did.
Oh, did he? Okay, well there you go. Now he's iconic because of it.
He did that.
Well,
He's like, I came back to do this. Like,
Well,
that's
you
what
know,
he said.
it's great you bring that up, Coach, because at Raffle 1, Mason Paris literally did that. Mason Paris got on the mat and told Wyatt that he better keep that belt clean for him.
Yeah, he did. Mason Paris was down for it.
Yeah.
Those Indiana boys got some dog in them, dude.
Mason Paris said, he announced he's back for wrestling. He told Wyatt that he better keep that belt clean for him.
Yeah, I did see that. Okay, so when was the last time that Paris wrestled?
What was it? Olympics 2024?
Yeah, it's been at least a year, I would say.
So
I'd say Olympics
is he coming
2024.
off injury or what? Why was he out for so long? He's coming off injury?
I think
He's taking a step back.
I think he just took a step back to regroup and refocus after losing at the Olympics.
Yeah, he was a favorite to medal at the Olympics, and he didn't
perform.
He
as
didn't
well as he
perform
should
too
have.
well, and he went and played football he was on the Chargers for a little bit.
Yeah, he did try a little stint in the NFL, see if he could do that because
And he was a crazy football player.
he was a really good football player in high school too.
And he went to Michigan, and Coach Jim Harbaugh loved him.
That's facts.
Okay, so he's a wild card. So he's unpredictable.
Mason Paris is actually freakishly athletic for how big he is.
And fun fact about Mason Paris, the current heavyweight world champ, Amir Zaire, Mason Paris has pinned him twice.
Yeah, that's the crazy part. The dude who just won Worlds.
The dude who just won Worlds at 125, Mason Paris has pinned him.
Okay, I like this. So if he gets past Romanov and he gets past in a dominant fashion, it's on and popping. That's gonna be the story. That's gonna be the story I'm gonna run with if it happens like we just talking about.
Yeah, it's gonna, if he smashes Romanov,
I'm pretty sure Wyatt and him is
it's
next.
going to have to be Wyatt and Paris, especially with Paris already calling him out.
Yeah.
And you remember, this was the one, that was the call out I said that I thought they would give Paris a different match first before they let him wrestle Wyatt.
Well, them giving him Kyle Snyder off the rip was a crazy match to begin
yeah,
with.
making that match I didn't think it was going to be Kyle Snyder, but I was like, that's buck wild.
Well, first of all, Paris took it. Paris took the match. So that says a lot about Paris. He goes, look.
Wrestlers ain't no bitches. That's the one benefit about having a professional wrestling league is wrestlers, unlike MMA fighters and boxers, wrestlers don't say no.
Yeah, and
wrestlers don't fight one time a year. Like wrestlers don't dodge people. If you have the best wrestler in the world and you're like, hey, bump up and wrestle the other best wrestler in the world, and you want a pound for pound 1v2 and the weights are close, wrestlers will do it drop of a hat.
Yeah.
Combat
that's what we need to
sports
see. That's what we need to see.
Hey, they don't have a John Jones ducking.
Other combat sports won't, which is why RAF has the potential to grow so big, because big name wrestlers just love the idea of being on the mat with other big name wrestlers, because wrestlers, even though they don't talk a lot yet, one thing wrestlers do like to do is say, I'm the baddest motherfucker when I step on this mat that I'm about to show you.
Well,
they just don't say the shit out.
And that were all the fighters in the UFC in the early years. When you had killers it wasn't about the money, it was about the great matchups. That's when the rankings matter. That when I want that guy, right? So wrestlers love wrestling regardless of money. Now let's see if they can maintain that drive when big checks are on the line. If you win, you get a big check. If you lose, you get a slightly little check. We're going to see if that still holds up. But right now, yeah.
I think with wrestling, it's the money will never deter wrestlers from wanting to wrestle the best, because it's too ingrained from too young of an age once you're put into the sport. It's just so deep. It's like one of the basic cornerstones of wrestling is you go out there and you put your face in the other dude's face and you beat the shit out of each other for 6 minutes. And it doesn't, because we're taught from day one, it doesn't matter who's across from you. Do your thing. Period. Point blank. And once you get good, like there's a saying in wrestling, if you're the best wrestler in your club, you're in the wrong club. It's time to move to a different club. If you're the best wrestler in the room, it's time to go to a different room.
Well,
That's
I
the
will add.
mentality of the sport.
Well, I will add this. You're looking at it from a bubble. The wrestling as a whole is a bubble. The wrestlers and the fan and the community of fans all think the same, right? You never get blowback from fans when you lose. You go, hey, brush it off, come back
That's
harder
not
next
true.
year, right?
That's
But
not
in
true.
the entertainment world, when you lose, fans can turn on you. Go, you bum, you piece of what the hell you think you were doing, garbage. And you get comment after comment after comment. That's where the pressure comes in. It's when
No, that's
somebody
not.
goes out his way to shit on you in your inbox for 20 minutes. That's where you find out who you made of. Like me and Jeff talked about in the last podcast is why didn't Lee perform? And we said it could have been pressure. He had all the pressure on him. He had all the attention on him. He was supposed to win. Sometimes that pressure can get to you. Now, when you got fans coming at you because you can't seem to get a win, that's different. That's different.
Well, you picked the absolute worst example to prove your point because you just gave me the entirety of all I needed to prove my point.
All right, well, give it your best shot there, buddy.
The fans absolutely shit all over Spencer Lee for his performance at World.
Did they?
Specifically, the Iowa wrestling fans shit all over him because they looked at it as a personal embarrassment to their program that he did so bad. That was the storyline coming out of Iowa.
Really?
The Iowa wrestling fans were like, this is a fucking embarrassment.
I think that forces him
They
out.
started talking about, like, do we need changes at Hawkeye Wrestling Club? Do the brands need to get out of the wrestling club and just focus on the college team? Like, there was a whole shitstorm going on in Iowa because of Spencer Lee's.
Okay, I'll admit that didn't reach my feeds, but okay, fair point then.
Like you said, the wrestling community is a bubble.
Yeah,
I'm in the bubble.
yeah.
Coach ain't in that
And
bubble.
there you go. That's the perfect point. Like I said, I was, I think me and Jeff had some kind of conversation. I said nobody has experienced fans yet. They've experienced engagement. They haven't experienced fans yet. Once that happens, we'll see what we have.
What I'm saying is they do experience fans. They do. You had a big name program like Penn State, Oklahoma State, Iowa, and you don't perform. The fans let you fucking know it. And those are college kids, and the fans let them know it, dude.
I like to know why Jeff is awfully quiet over there. Jeff, this where you at on this?
Jeff knows I'm right. He knows I'm right here.
No comment, Coach.
He's seen it. I know you've seen it.
I've seen it.
Look at that. Okay, well, good. If you've seen it, you've seen it. That's all you need to say.
The wrestling community
Hey, Chris, see what happens when you have these kids with these brand new draws on. You know, when things get rough, they don't know how to chime in.
I'm just letting Mr. Four Beers over here go off on his tangent.
First of all, this is only my third beer. All right, I'm not even like buzzed yet, so leave me alone. I'm just making a point. Like if he wouldn't have picked Spencer Lee, I would have had to bring up Spencer Lee to counterpoint him anyway.
Well, Coach, when you get Chris going on a tangent, he does not get off it.
Well, first of all, you gotta drive 6 hours with him before you build up the alligator skin to deal with it.
But we were talking about Mason Parris earlier, right? And a lot of you folks, we had highlighted that he was going to wrestle Kyle Snyder. I wanted to take a moment. Obviously you can see that match.
Yeah.
Jeff is soft. All right, guys.
They should point about Kyle Snyder.
Well, I wanted. Hey, one of those where I just sit back and I observe. But yes, Kyle Snyder unfortunately had to back out due to a knee injury. Hoping his knee is all right and prayers out to him. But again, that made room for an international wrestler that is an Olympian. Romanov is an Olympian.
Facts.
So it's not no cakewalk for Mason Parris, who has been away from wrestling for a while. And I'm hoping he represents Indiana well, and I know he will. But talking more about the match, right? Or not the match, the card. James Green is on it.
That's an interesting matchup.
And David Carr.
Yeah.
And they're in the same weight.
That's the same weight class.
Isn't that Yanni's weight too?
No.
165?
No, well, he's 155.
Isn't Yanni middleweight?
No, Yanni was.
Or is that Gomez's weight?
Yanni and Gomez are the same weight. They're heavier than Yanni.
Who's the champ at that weight right now then?
That's 165, right?
I think so, yeah. That says 165, right, Coach D?
That's welterweight.
Yeah, 165.
Because the champ at middleweight is Yanni, and middleweight's 155.
Who's welterweight?
I don't know if they even had a welterweight matchup at the.
They had to have. Who was the weight above Yanni at RAFA 1? Oh my God, I'm drawing a
We're
blank.
drawing a blank here.
Oh my God, I feel stupid.
We're drawing a blank here.
Oh my God, now it
All
looks
right,
like we
chat.
don't know.
All right, chat,
Yeah.
help us out.
Oh my God.
There is no single welterweight champ in RAF yet.
Okay.
So that's why we did draw a blank, because it did not happen.
Okay, so we drew a blank because we are not stupid, because we knew it didn't happen.
Yeah,
Cool.
we said it didn't happen, and Chris made me think I'm an idiot.
Well, it's my job to make you think you're an idiot. Right?
So, yeah, so there's no welterweight champion, but, you know, the Yanni Bajrang match was the same weight class as Austin Gomez, Lance Palmer, and they gave the belt to Yanni.
well,
so
that
do you-
makes sense because
Yeah.
Gomez wrestled Palmer.
Yeah, right? So do you think the belt will be going to David Carr? Because that is,
I don't think either one of those was a title match.
well, we didn't think the Yanni match was going to be a title match.
No, we knew that one was.
Did we?
Yeah, oh yeah. They announced which ones were title fights. This looks like they're using RAF 02 to establish
A welterweight
the,
pecking order?
the welterweight division is what it looks like,
Okay.
right? Because they used RAF 01 to establish the women's, was that strawweight?
Yeah.
120, right? And it looks now they're bringing in the beef for that weight class, right?
Yeah.
And now they're like, okay, here's 165, right? And you got 2 Americans, first 2 internationals at 165.
James Green he's in his mid-30s, correct? Early 30s? He's on the older side.
Yeah, and Carr's like what, 25, 26?
He's my age, yeah.
Somewhere in there.
And he also Carr had a great performance at Worlds. Lost to Criteria on Sidikov. I mean, you know, David Carr, I think David Carr is probably going to become a welterweight champ at RAF.
What's Marv saying? Come on, Chris, about? I don't even know what he's talking about.
I think he's
right
saying,
now.
"Come on, Chris," because you called me an idiot for not knowing who the welterweight
I
champ
didn't
was.
say I
when we
called-
wasn't.
I didn't say I called you an idiot.
Hey
That's just my job to make-
guys, let me chime in for a second. All right, since we didn't change the code for Kick, we are actually live on Kick too. We're live. We're
What?
currently live right now on Kick. We've been
All
live
right,
the
well,
whole
listen.
time.
Well, this is ignorant. So there you go. We're just okay. The 3 of us are borderline retarded.
Yeah,
I got it now. Cool.
we're operating on all cylinders right now.
Guys, it's been a long week.
So you're saying we started late for literally no reason, basically.
Basically,
Chat, I just want to say it's been a long week.
Good God Almighty.
Yeah,
Hey.
we are.
hey, the job gets done how the job gets done.
Jeez.
Oh, there's a chat here. Let's go through the chat. What's going on here?
Oh, the guy in the chat's named Mega Meat 420.
Mega
so
Meat
we're-
420.
We're gonna go back to YouTube. That's what that means.
Guys. All right, whatever. We rally. But, all right, look, RAF 02's got a crazy card, but we have something massive coming up this weekend.
Yeah.
UFC 320.
Oh, UFC 320.
You know,
I've been amped for this
Yeah.
minute.
What?
And not to pivot quickly from RAF, but we have some great stuff coming up in the next few episodes about RAF. And since the card was finalized today, I'm sure there might be some tweaks considering that's what happened to RAF 01. So we wanted to cover a little bit about it today.
A little closing statement on Raf. We're going to watch that stream, right? People are going to be watching that stream. We're going to be at the event. I can't fathom that event ending with only eight
8 matches.
8
Nah.
cards.
Yeah,
There's gonna be more
I
matches.
agree.
There's going to be some
twist.
some surprise match
Do you think we'll have a Holly Holm?
where they hide the weigh-ins. They don't have them show up for weigh-ins. They do a separate weigh-in somewhere in the back corner, and then they go, "Hey, surprise everybody! Skadoosh! Here's a match for you."
Skadoosh.
Right? But yeah, that's kind of my closing thoughts on that. I don't think 8's the magic number they're going to settle on.
I don't think so either.
Now, pivoting over to UFC 320, I was looking at the card and I noticed a couple interesting things. There's not a single women's fight on this card after the early prelims.
This makes a good card.
Yeah.
The prelims and the main card, there's not a single women's fight. That seems unusual to me.
It's not. It has happened before.
It's not.
But it's not common. That's not a very common occurrence, though, right?
No, it's happened quite a few times.
Has it?
Yeah.
Maybe I just don't remember it.
Well,
But
the divisions are so thin. When you want to make a high profile women's matchups, you got to take your time and build them up because you only have so many female fighters. There's not a lot.
That's true. There's only 3 weights in the women's division too, so that doesn't help either.
Yeah.
I was just wondering. It's just something I noticed. The last few times I've been watching UFC, like at least in recent memory, I've always noticed there's at least been women's fights in the prelims.
Yeah.
And there's always been at least like one at the beginning of the main card. It just didn't seem like it's been an occurrence recently of basically no women at all.
I like this card though. I was like, man, we haven't had a barn burn in a minute. This card is pretty daggone good.
Now, what I do, so we'll start with the first fight. Magomedov versus Pfeiffer.
Joe Pfeiffer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be a good fight. Joe Pfeiffer, ladies and gentlemen. I want to say he's up next. He's on the come up.
I think Pfeiffer wins this fight. I mean, Pfeiffer's coming off a pretty big win against Gaston.
Dude, I love to see some heavyweight women go at it.
Jesus. Logan, no, stop it.
Yes, Logan, I agree.
No, stop it. I'll be honest
200
with
plus.
you, I barely even like watching the men's heavyweights fight, to be perfectly honest with you.
Those always end in a KO.
Exactly, it's extremely one-dimensional. I might as well watch boxing if I want to watch 2 dudes just swing at each other.
Coach, we're in your domain right now.
Yep.
We got Logan. What do you think about Logan's comment? We need a heavyweight division for the women.
Well, here's the crazy part, right? Look how advanced women have becoming. Look at rugby. Rugby has been blowing it up with women just knocking each other's heads off. But you can't get. Look at wrestling. Wrestling is evolving, but for some reason, boxing they don't want to transition over into MMA. I can't call it. It's just they don't want to do it. I've asked plenty of women from other sports. They go, nah, I don't want to get kicked in my thigh. I get it.
Couple of things. One, women's rugby is fucking awesome.
It is.
I love rugby in general. Rugby is one of my favorite sports in the world. And watching on TV, when you watch the sport on TV, there's very little drop-off between watching women's and men's rugby. It's super entertaining. It's very enjoyable.
Rugby's cool.
It's like thank God there's women's softball because women's softball is as entertaining as like men's baseball. I thoroughly enjoy it.
I wasn't even paying rugby no attention. I was like, if I'm gonna watch anything, it's gonna be lingerie football. So I thought. Then I started watching rugby. I was like, okay, I'm hooked on rugby. Rugby be getting it, boy.
Yeah, dude. I played rugby in high school. I loved rugby like basically my whole life, and women's rugby is thoroughly entertaining.
I refuse to play rugby. You come full tilt and bust me in my gut. The game is over. It's straight fighting. It's straight fighting.
To be perfectly honest with you, it hurts less than getting hit in football. Not gonna lie. But
I don't want
your second point is, I think men generally are more agreeable to going ahead and getting punched in the face to make some money.
I think
if they have the athletic ability. and I think it's a bigger leap for like athletic women to think, yeah, I can go throw hands, right? I think it's more of like it's just it's just the natural, like, I don't know what's the word I'm looking for,
Adrenaline?
temperament of men compared to women on average.
Yeah, let's go get fucking punched in the face.
You know what I mean? Like,
Well, it's also twofold. It's hard to be a pure female fighter. It's hard to be just a female fighter because what we gotta understand, we gotta say the elephant in the room. They want you to go the extra mile. Like I said, that's why you're still going to weigh-ins in a bikini. You're not wearing shorts, in the sports bra. They want you to look as sexy as you could possibly be, right? Because sex sells. So there's always that conversation at some point about how far are you willing to go in the sport, right? And that's the downside of this. If you look at everybody, look how bad they crucified Cyborg, where Rogan said Cyborg had a penis. You know what I'm saying? Look how bad it got. But look how much she had to sexy herself up. You see her wearing dresses. You see her getting makeup on. You see her trying to wear high heels because she doesn't want to be, even though she was the best female fighter in the world, beating everybody. All we can say is the negative. We won't give them the positive unless they do something extra.
well,
That's the problem.
to be honest, in my personal opinion, I think the only thing that changes that is getting a larger market share of the viewers to be women.
Well, good luck. I'm with you.
Well,
I'm 100% with you.
What I'm saying, that's the only way that changes, right?
Yeah.
And I mean,
That conversation has been happening all around the world, and it still comes to the same conclusion. Now, tennis is probably the highest viewership when it comes to females, but outside of that, what's next? Outside of tennis, what's second?
Well, definitely not the WNBA.
Exactly.
Women's golf is pretty up there.
Women's soccer too.
Well, yeah, I can see golf before I see soccer, but yeah, okay.
Well, women's soccer is pretty because
it's
a lot of girls in America watch the women's soccer team.
Yeah, for some reason, not for some reason. Well, actually, I couldn't tell you, but our U.S. women's soccer team is like the juggernauts of soccer.
Yeah, like top 2 in the world every year. So
yeah,
they get a lot. The young girls growing up in America
they love soccer.
Get pushed to soccer a lot,
yeah,
and they watch a lot of soccer.
Real quick though, pivoting back to UFC 320.
A little tangent.
A little tangent there. We've got the soccer. I love talking about soccer, but unfortunately, this is not.
Hey fans, we've been off the rails since this started, so let's go with it.
This is the little.
I'm having a good time with it.
This is an unconventional episode for us, ladies and
it.
gentlemen, because we thought we weren't streaming on Kick, but apparently we were, and then we were late 20 minutes for no goddamn reason. So, and that's life.
And I've been on one since it started.
Yeah,
so we're doing that.
So, Chris, how about you tell us what the next fight after Pfeiffer is?
We got Emmett versus Zalal.
Josh Emmett. All right. So, quick tidbit, real quick. Josh Emmett, right? Coach, you're familiar with who Josh Emmett is?
Yep.
Yeah, and Josh Emmett. Whenever I see him fight on the card, I am always deterred to pick the fighter who he's fighting against. Why? I don't know why, but there's something about Josh Emmett.
I can tell you why.
But guess what? He gets it done.
I can tell you why you're always want to pick the other guy.
Tell me why, Chris.
Because no one born the same age as me should still be fighting. No one born the same year as me should still be fighting. That's why.
But Josh Emmett gets it done for some reason.
Let me hear. And Chris is right. Josh is supposed to have been gone from the sport. But you know what? No matter who he is in front of, they can't take the shit that comes out of his freaking hands. When he hits you, you go to sleep. No matter what round. I've never seen a fighter his age hold power from the first round to the last round. He can get you at any point in the fight, no matter if he's losing, every minute of every round, he has one shot to win. If he gets you, it's a wrap. I can't remember anybody who stood from a clean shot from him. I'm trying to think. I can't remember. Maybe one.
Don't they say power doesn't age? It's like the one thing that doesn't age is power.
Yeah, it doesn't age. And he's mastered stay in the fight till I can get this shot. He's mastered that.
So I was looking through it, and he's ranked number 8 in the weight class, and Zalal's ranked number 9. So it's 8 versus 9.
Zalal's also slightly younger.
Zalal's slightly younger, like a decade younger.
Just slightly. And Zalal is also, I will say, Zalal is on the come up. He's on a nice win streak, and I think if he wins this against Josh Emmett, he's probably going to get a top 5 fight.
I think this is one of those fights that age catches up to Emmett this time.
You think Zalal's a little too much for him?
I think it's a gigantic age gap. Zalal's pretty athletic.
Just for our viewers watching, too, we're just going to go over the main card because we have our first – what do we have tomorrow, Chris? What is it tomorrow?
Oh, our first betting?
Our first sports betting episode is tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, where our betting analysts are going to cover the main card in detail and what their picks are, and then they have some prelims that could win you guys some money if you follow. But here's a trick. Some of it won't be posted on social media. If you want all the picks, you have to tune into the episode.
Yeah, we're dirty like that.
Yeah, hey. Hey, we at some point we have to clickbait a little bit or whatever.
Have to rope you in.
Have to rope you in. If you want all of the picks, you have to tune into the episode. Obviously, some will be posted, but if you want all the picks, you have to tune into the episode.
With that being said, this is not the betting podcast.
This is not. This is a brief cover.
I'll tell you 2 things. One, I have no idea who the bettors, our betting analysts, are going to pick, and I don't care who they're going to pick. On this podcast, I'm going to tell you who the hell I think's going to win.
Yeah.
And so what we think could be completely different than what our betting analysts think, because that's the beauty of our podcast. It's buck wild and chaos, and we just let shit rip.
So you can go with Chris's picks that he has no idea behind.
Come on now.
Or you can go with our betting analysts. But, sometimes just going with the picks that you have no idea is happening, sometimes it's better.
I also don't bet because my heart can't take it.
Fair enough.
It's already entertaining enough. I don't need to put money on the line. And I'm a cheap bastard. So
that's fair. Now, next fight is Jiri Prochazka versus Khalil Roundtree. Now, this is going to be a dog fight.
You think so?
I think this might be the most entertaining fight on the card, to be honest with you.
I think it has, but
you got a former champ in this weight class, which is the same weight class as the main events championship fight.
Yeah.
Versus a dude who's fought for the belt in that weight class.
And before Ankalaev gave Pereira his best shot. Yes. Khalil Roundtree is
almost took Pereira out.
You know that. Khalil Roundtree is legit.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you, I got Roundtree is going to outfight Prochazka. How you ever say his name? He's going to outfight him all 3 rounds. I got Roundtree on this one. He going to outfight him all 3 rounds.
I'm gonna take Roundtree as well, but I'm excited for that fight. Next fight.
Roundtree's American, right?
Yes.
Well, I'm totally rooting for him. That's how that works.
Next fight is a fighter we all love to watch because he is a freaking machine, and that's his nickname, Merab Dvalishvili, whatever. I probably mispronounced that super bad, but they call him the Machine, and Corey Sandhagen, Mr. Mushroom.
Yo, this is a very, very, very interesting fight. Sandhagen has been coming around. He's, like I said, he took some serious L's earlier on, but he's seeming to find his stride. Now,
I noticed that.
Merab is a whole nother monster, but Sandhagen can make a good showing of this.
Now, to be fair, Sandhagen is basically lost to the number 1 contender, Nurmagomedov.
Yeah, Nurmagomedov.
And he lost to Yan, but that was like a couple years ago, right?
Yeah, but his most recent loss is Nurmagomedov. That was last year. Yeah. And Merab beat Umar.
But I think Umar is basically the only person he's lost to.
Yeah, so this fight, Coach said it best.
This is a matchup.
You know,
this is a style matchup.
The reason I believe that Sandhagen has this fight is because Merab has beaten 1, 2, and 3 handily and multiple times. And who is next up? Corey Sandhagen, right? And, this is a matchup fight, Coach.
Yeah.
This is a matchup fight.
Sandhagen, his long and lanky style, because Merab is short and compact. It depends. If he don't make it a dog fight, if he make it a point fight, he can win. If he let Merab take him into a dog fight, he gonna get handled. This is a technique fight purely.
Sandhagen does a good job of not getting finished though.
No, he did. His most recent fight was in May, and he knocked out Davison Figueroa.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, but here's an interesting tidbit, and our betting analysts will go more into depth, but I'm just going to gloss it over. 4 years ago, Corey Sandhagen was submitted by Aljamain Sterling. Mm-hmm. And who is Aljamain Sterling's best friend? Merab. So Merab is probably going to be searching for his first submission win.
Well, no, this would be Rob's second. If Merab submits Sandhagen, he already submitted what's his face?
Oh no, yeah,
he submitted O'Malley.
He did submit O'Malley. Actually, my fault.
Yeah, he submitted O'Malley.
Correct myself.
The second round.
That was a crazy. But I think I'm excited for this fight, but I'm going to take Merab on this one. But we'll have to see what our betting analysts say and what the lines are at.
Well, here's the deal, right? Fighters have these long runs, and then they just fall off a cliff, and you never know when that cliff is going to show up.
Happens.
So Merab hasn't lost a fight in 5 years.
It's just
at least 5 years.
His cardio is crazy. Do you think Corey Sandhagen can keep up with him for 5 rounds? No fighter has been able to.
I mean, Sandhagen has a lot of his matches go the whole distance.
True.
Sandhagen's not really.
Sandhagen. Hey, Chris is right. Sandhagen is a distance machine. That mother effer goes the distance a lot.
Hey, careful on that word machine because that is Merab. Merab is the machine.
No, but I'm just saying Sandhagen is the one dude in this weight class where he can match cardio.
He can match cardio. I'm. This is a good fight, and I'm very interested.
If it gets into the 4th or 5th round, does Merab start getting frustrated?
You think so?
I mean, does he? He could start getting frustrated, especially if let's say they go in the 4th round is 2-1. Whether it's 2-run Merab or Sandhagen's irrelevant, right?
Now,
well, let's look at what entertainment fighting is all about. Sandhagen has nothing to lose, right? Merab does. Undefeated record, belt. He finally came into his own because Merab's been winning for a minute, but he only recently became a popular fighter where everybody is now saying his name. He's now in the spotlight. He has more to lose than Sandhagen. Sandhagen has always been the guy who almost got it done. So believe it or not, the pressure is on Merab, not Sandhagen.
Well, the pressure should always be on the champ. In theory, right? If you have the belt, if you're the dude at the top of the mountain, right? The pressure should always be on you, right?
Yeah.
The challenger never has anything to lose. Either they leave with a belt or they go home the same way they came in, beltless.
I just don't know if Corey Sandhagen's grappling skills are up to par with Merab.
Well, that's why you throw hands.
Yeah. Merab also has a chin.
Right. But then you got hit him with a foot.
We'll see. We'll see. Fabulous matchup there, and I'm excited to watch it. But main event, rematch, Ankalaev versus Pereira.
You know why I kind of like Pereira in this match?
You like Pereira in this match?
No, I'm saying why I kind of like him.
Why do you kind of like Pereira?
Because, if I remember right, I feel like Pereira's had multiple rematches in his career, right?
Most notable is definitely Israel Adesanya, yeah.
And I feel
they fought 5 times.
And I feel like every time Pereira loses, he wins the rematch.
He comes back and wins the rematch.
Yeah.
And I think it's been this would be like the third time in his career, I think, that he's had that situation.
You know,
He's like the only dude that consistently gets an automatic rematch if he loses to somebody.
sorry for our betting analysts real quick, but I did check today. FanDuel line has Pereira at plus 200.
I mean, that's basically an even match.
Yeah.
Plus 200 is not that much.
Ankalaev's minus 320.
Oh, I didn't hear the second part.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. Belay my last.
But, you know,
Darren knows what that means.
I agree. I agree. Like, it's hard to count Pereira out, even when he's lost to this fighter.
Because he's such a big son of a bitch, dude.
If you think about it, too, so is Ankalaev. Now, also, Ankalaev, guess who Ankalaev trains with? Abdul Sajulayev.
Okay, so he's a good wrestler.
He's a great and it showed.
Well,
last
Ankalaev was
fight.
also was raised up in Greco-Roman wrestling.
Yeah, and that's why he's so good in the clinch. If you do remember the first fight, a lot of it was just on the cage in the clinch.
Yeah, Pereira's got to stay off the cage.
And he's got to pressure and he's got to advance.
He's got to move forward and stay in the center of the cage.
He's got to keep his leg kicks going. I mean, he's a kickboxer at his heart. He's got to keep his leg kicks going.
He's got to calf kick the fuck out of him.
Coach, what are your thoughts?
Well, the thing is, I mean, the first match was extremely close, right? And Ankalaev made a lot of mistakes in the first match. I think he's going to correct it. He's going to put a lot more pressure on Pereira going this time around. Pereira's going to have an uphill battle. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy.
I noticed in the first fight that like only 11 of the 21 media outlets gave the fight to Ankalaev. So it was basically a 50-50 split decision.
When the decision came out that Ankalaev won, and I think it shocked a lot of UFC.
I think that's why
fans.
it was a rematch. That's why I think it was neither one of these guys
Immediate
have fought
rematch.
since then.
Immediate rematch.
They
haven't fought since.
These guys' last fight was this fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have not fought any, but this is going to be Ankalaev's first title defense.
Yeah.
And it's against the guy he took it from.
Yeah, so it's going to be a great match, and
Because I thought Pereira won that fight, personally.
I did too, and
I actually was like, what the? When they made that decision, I actually looked at my screen and go, what fight did they fucking watch?
I had a lot of money riding on Alex Pereira, and all my parlays busted because of that, and I was so upset, Coach. Now, my question too regarding that fight, right?
I don't think Pereira's forgotten that, so I don't think it's that big of an uphill
Regarding
battle.
that first fight, Coach, you're our MMA guru. Why because he had a lot of takedown defenses. Why are takedown defenses not scored?
Because a takedown defense is nobody really is pushing the fight. So it has to be who is moving the fight forward. Defending a takedown without throwing any strikes or causing any damage is not moving the fight. It's almost like neutral. So therefore, even though the attempt looked good and the defending looked good, it both gets neutraled out. So if I'm going to take you down and you defend it, you did as much as I did. So to the judges, it's neutral. No one did more than the other.
Yeah, so
I think that's dog shit.
Yeah, for me,
I think that's absolute dog shit.
Yeah, for me, that was a core sports betting memory because I think Pereira had like 11 takedown defenses, but what happened is when he defended, it led him up to the cage, and then they were in the clinch for
I
like
think
3 minutes.
clinching against the cage is bullshit too.
Well, here is since I've had the opportunity to coach fighters, and I've been around so many fighters, the most thing that is never truly taught in mixed martial arts is how to win a round. Everybody is so focused on the knockout or the submission that they don't know what it takes to win a round. I get in arguments with coaches all the time. I go, why are you teaching your fighter how to win a round? Why are you teaching him just how to get it? If he can't get the knockout, then what? If he can't get the submission, then what? You don't know how to teach him how to win a round. So when you see two fighters stalling out, right, you don't know who won and who lost because they don't know how to win that round.
You know why? You know why you can't teach them how to win a round?
I'm dying to hear this, Chris.
because the judges don't know what wins the round fucking either.
Yeah, they do. I mean, well,
No, they
that goes
don't.
both ways.
Hey,
That
Hey,
goes
there has
both
been-
ways.
There's been a lot of controversy surrounding
So
UFC
so
referees.
what you're saying about refs is different than not knowing how to win a round. Is
judges and
who-
refs are not
who-
the same
I was
thing.
about to say
who is
judges.
the A side and who is the B side? That's the question. If it's the A side and you don't knock the A side out, there's a good chance the A side might win.
There should just be a point system. A takedown's this many points. Winning significant strikes is this many points for the round. Takedown defense is this many points.
Well, technically it is. Technically it is a point system. Technically it is.
Well, not that 10-9 bullshit. This isn't boxing. You know what I mean? And 10-9 stupid as hell too. I just it's a like, okay, so I can absolutely destroy a dude in one round and win 10-9, and then that dude can barely win the next round and get 10-9, and now the match is tied.
Well, that's how it is. That's how it is in one championship. One championship is that way. They don't go 10-9. It's who did the most damage. You can lose 2 rounds and win in the 3rd round and win the match. So,
which is also stupid.
Chris, it's very apparent that you haven't been hugged as a child. You need a hug, motherfucker.
Look, this is how
You are the most unhappiest motherfucker I ever met in my life.
Because I participate and watch the combat sport that has the most like definitive scoring style, and at least in freestyle, you have to have 2 out of 3 refs on site agree to a call for it to count. So you got 3 people
have to be in agreement to score.
That can correct an egregious call on the spot. In real time.
UFC judges on recent cards have been getting a lot of controversy.
Because they're atrocious.
Right, Coach?
Because
You know that, Coach.
Yeah, you're correct.
UFC judges, a lot. Even you can even tell when you're watching a fight card, right? Joe Rogan, DC, right? When some decisions come out, they're in shock themselves.
Yeah, which is ridiculous.
Well, you got to also listen. When you listen to the commentaries, you can also tell who they favorite too. The one thing commentaries suck at is calling it down the mother effing middle. You know what I'm saying? They hype fighters they like way more than the fight is happening. They go, that didn't happen. Well, I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
because
they're also, let's not pretend they're not paid to hype them by Dana White for a specific reason either.
Well, yeah.
They might not even personally like the fighter.
Oil me up, Dana.
They're just being told this is the guy you're going to promote while you're commentating, and build them up.
Yeah, they don't even hide it anymore.
I'm just saying. Do we think that doesn't happen?
No, it happens. It happens.
But even me as a fan sitting there, like, I'm not an in-depth, analyze everything, watch every single fight night kind of UFC fan. I like watching the big one, like 320, 322 I'm going to watch. Right? I like seeing big name, barn burner cards. That's when I tune in and I watch the whole damn thing, right? Like Khabib, Chimaev, DDP. That was a good card top to bottom. Like the fights leading up to that fight were great fights.
Yeah, I got 2 spinning back elbows.
I was superbly entertained that whole night, right? So when I watch a fight, and I supposedly don't know that much, even though the UFC has their pound-for-pound fighter, the same guy I said was when you all laughed at me, by the way. Topoyev is the number 1 pound-for-pound on UFC's own website, so you can all below me. All right? When I can tell it's an absolutely egregious judge's decision, that's a fucking problem. Is all I'm saying.
Oh, I know. I hear you. The judges suck. Letting
Slightly
go to the
above
judges is a
casual-
nightmare.
A slightly above casual UFC fan like me at no point should be like, that's the most egregious thing I've ever seen in my life on a judge scorecard.
I agree.
Yeah.
Or then you'll get a split decision. You'll get like 2 judges go, 30-27, 30-27, 30, like 2 of them go 30-27. Then one dude's like 28-29. I'm like, shut the fuck up. Like, shut up.
Well, here's the bad part about that when it comes to paying sports like the UFC. You got show money and win money. So when you let it go to the freaking judges and they're freaking on whatever they on, and you lose a significant amount of win money. That hurts your career long term.
That's why I think the fighters should be able to punch judges in the throat when they fuck it up. That'll probably fix it real fast. I'm just saying.
I think that's a good spot.
Well, you got some topics, right? That you want?
Yeah, but we'd be here for another 30 minutes.
How about we just do one then?
We'll do one topic.
We'll do one. We'll save one for next week.
Yeah. So.
Well, first of all, you gotta understand it's past Jeff's effing bedtime. He had to get tucked in at night, little softy.
All right, settle down now. So, this has been a topic of conversation that I've seen on social media all week and a little bit of last week. Chris, and I want to know your take on this.
Oh, do you?
Should high school and college wrestling switch to freestyle?
Should high school and college wrestling switch to freestyle?
Scrap the folk style wrestling.
1,000,000% yes.
Why?
If the women can wrestle freestyle in college, why can't the men?
Exactly. That's another thing. And do you think that would help us as a country also for
Hold on. Pause. So why women get freestyle in college and not the men?
That's just
I didn't
how it
know
worked
that.
out.
That don't make. What do you mean? That's how it worked out. I didn't have a freaking answer.
I'll tell you why. Because the men have been sanctioned by the NCAA for decades.
Yeah.
Right? And folk style was made to get sanctioning at the scholastic level. That's why sometimes it's called the scholastic style, because it's a little bit safer, apparently.
Yeah, and coach.
And it was the way to get insurance. But when women's wrestling started growing, and it started off as at the club level in college, and it was sanctioned by the NWCA, and because there was no high school women's wrestling at the time, so women had no folk style pipeline.
Okay.
They wrestled freestyle their entire lives, and that's all they wrestled. Unless they wrestled boys, they wrestled folk style, right? So when the NWCA had club women's wrestling in college, it was freestyle. And then last year when it got sanctioned by the NCAA, since freestyle wrestling was already the established style of wrestling for women, that's what got carried over into NCAAs, and that's why women wrestle freestyle in college. Now, another pertinent question is, if the women are wrestling freestyle in college and freestyle everywhere else, why the hell are they wrestling folk style in high school?
Well, before we continue, everybody in the chat, give Chris a round of applause for finally doing a podcast right. Instead of saying, well, that's how it goes, he finally explained something to the fans who are trying to learn something they don't know.
That was actually pretty freaking awesome.
Blind squirrel finds the nut sometimes, man.
Yeah, that was actually pretty freaking awesome.
Every now and then the sun shines on a dog's ass, you know?
That was awesome. And, I didn't actually know all that, so I appreciate your insight.
So it's kind of a twofold question. If the boys have to wrestle folk style because they wrestle folk style in college, then why do the girls have to wrestle folk style in high school if they wrestle freestyle in college? It doesn't make sense. One of the two has to go. Either the girls need to wrestle freestyle in high school, right? Or the boys got to switch to freestyle at all levels.
Well, I guess the question is it still an insurance thing? Because they're not leveling it up. We're not hearing the conversations. I don't see it nowhere. Why haven't they upgraded when everybody else is doing freestyle at the international level?
I think at this point it's just so ingrained in the American psyche of the sport of wrestling that folk style is an exclusively American style of wrestling.
So then shouldn't it be real American folk style?
Basically, no one else in the world does it except for us. Canada, India actually has
a little bit, but
folk style.
Folk style wrestling is pretty much America's wrestling baby.
Right. Like it's our version of, like, we took a little Greco, took a little freestyle.
Like when you bring over an international wrestler and you show them folk style, they're like what the hell is this?
Yeah, what the fuck is this nonsense? That's what they do.
Yeah, like Masanosuke Ono from Penn State, who came over from Japan, incredible wrestler, is learning how to wrestle folk style because he's competing at Penn State.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be honest with you, it's easier to do it from free to folk than it is from folk to free.
I would agree as well. It's just, I've seen it all over social media this past week that why are we wrestling folk style at all levels when the international level of wrestling is freestyle?
So this is not, how do I word this?
If we're training to get a gold medal at the world championships, Olympic championships, why are we training folk style?
Look, there's some, I'm going to hedge my bets here a little bit, all right? I think the folk style of wrestling is why we just pound people into submission in the second period in freestyle.
Makes sense.
And why international wrestlers try to end matches with Americans as fast as they possibly can. Because international wrestlers basically focus on technique, period, and they don't do any cardio whatsoever. And Americans have this grind mentality of we're just going to heavy hands and wear you out.
And we're going to take you to DeepWater.
And that's our folk style mentality. That's our folk style mentality that we bring to freestyle, and I think it helps us. So with that being said,
that's a valid point based off how you said it. That's pretty good. I can see that.
It is valid.
I can see that.
With that, and I think that is one of the main reasons we do stay as successful as we do, because Americans don't focus on technique as much as everybody else. We focus on cardio, toughness, working hard than everybody else, yada yada, all the intangibles of wrestling, more so than technique versus everybody else.
That all comes with training.
And Americans are notorious for beating wrestlers who are not better than. We're notorious for that.
Perfect example, Trent Hindley and Amir Fizipur.
Exactly, right? We're notorious for that because we'll get down by a lot and then we just basically make the other guy quit in the second period.
Carry water.
And come back and win, right? That's a folk style mentality and I love it. But if I want to watch wrestling, if I want to have a longer career in wrestling, if I want my body to hold up longer in wrestling, I don't want to wrestle folk style. Me personally, at a bare minimum, I would like USA Wrestling to go back to the days of there was no folk style wrestling, and you didn't wrestle folk style until you got to middle school.
It was all freestyle.
When I wrestled, there was no folk style wrestling until 7th grade, and it was in the public middle schools. USAW had 0 kids folk style. The only thing you could, because my brother was 5 years younger than me, so I started wrestling in high school. So the first style I learned was folk style. My brother wrestled freestyle from 4th grade until he got basically into high school.
Interesting.
Well, I will say this: for the involvement of the sport of wrestling, we might have to question folk style because for the international market, it doesn't apply. So therefore, you can only put but so much stock in it because it doesn't apply everywhere.
That's why it's
going to be the question.
Well, I'm just saying you would probably get a lot more asses and seats at a high school wrestling match if there were suplexes going around and people getting thrown on their heads left and right.
People getting a ticket to
just get an absolute 5.
And then you have every crazy parent running on the mat going, "Little Johnny."
That's not what wrestling parents do. We control each other with fist fights.
You got all these JV wrestlers trying to throw a suplex who can't even.
Which would be awesome.
It would be awesome.
Gio did do it and get DQ'd.
I did watch that.
That did happen. My son did do it and get DQ'd.
You see all these first year JV wrestlers.
And the parents were real mad. They were real mad about it.
Just suplex and just see that would be a spectacle. You just see
there was a big ooh, and then people were very angry about it.
You just see a bunch of wrestlers just.
But it would be way more entertaining. I think. I mean, freestyle is more entertaining than folk style. Folk style has the propensity to be boring as fuck.
It does, especially when a wrestler can just sit on top for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, it is evolving. People are paying attention. That's why we're getting certain rule changes. It's starting to happen. It's going to take time.
I hate writing time.
And writing time.
I call it stalling. That's what I call it.
Pretty
I call
much
it.
is.
You get a point for stalling on top. That's what right time. It's stalling time.
Pretty much. But that was just some food for thought.
God, I hate
It was
that.
a wrestling hot take that I saw across the media this past week and a half, and I thought it'd be fruitful to share on the podcast and see Chris's take and yours, Coach.
I would love to see
Actually,
America.
that was a very good one, man. Good job on that one. That was a very good one.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, I would love to see America drop folk style.
You know, I would too.
And that's not a popular take, and people are going to fillet me for that take because there's a lot of people. They're like, oh, control, like controlling someone matters. I'm like, no, scoring points matters. Score points.
Score points, and freestyle encourages to score.
Now in folk style, if you had a rule set where score points or we were going to penalize you for not scoring points, because the way they call stalling in folk style and modern day folk style is a joke.
Oh,
it's an absolute
it's subjective
fucking
to
joke
the referee as well.
The way they call stalling. I would like to see them get rid of DQs. Like,
so if I just fucking
like it's like
bam!
No. What I'm saying is, get rid of the DQ rule for stalling. Get rid of it. Just make the penalty for stalling exponentially more terrible.
Like how so? What do you mean by more terrible? Like a point?
Like right now, how it's set up is you get a warning, and then the first two times, the 2 times after that you stall are a point apiece, and then it's 2 points, 2 points, DQ. So you got to get hit for stalling 5 times to get DQ'd, right?
Yeah, and what about cautions as well?
I don't care about that.
You don't care about cautions?
What?
So who calls the stalling? Is it just the ref, or do the judges get involved too? Because if you got a ref,
That's the other thing about folk style. There's only one ref.
but I'm saying, if the ref is a little biased.
Oh, dude, you don't know the amount of the times Chris and I have seen the worst subjective stalling calls from a referee. Like sometimes
they just call it just to fucking call.
Yeah,
it
and sometimes
for no reason.
Sometimes the crowd in a gym will just be yelling stalling, and then the ref will just.
Dude, let me tell you something.
Exactly what I'm saying.
Let me tell you something. I purposefully will stand as close to the match as possible when anybody in our team is wrestling, and I'll just sit there and wait for a prime opportunity to go and just yell, "Make bottom man move. He's curled up.
Exactly.
Hit him." And I'll go, "Right there, hit him." And you know how many times I'll get a ref to go boop? And I'll look right at the parent and I'll go, I can goad stalling calls out of refs. There's all the time.
There's right times to call stalling for sure, but a lot of refs just tend to call it. I don't even want to get.
What I'd like to see is
because that gets my goat.
What I'd like to see is you get rid of the warning. You get hit, it's a point.
Yeah, because it's 2 and it's a point, right? Yeah.
You get hit off rip. You get hit off rip, right? The second time you get hit is 2 points. The third time you get hit is 3 points. You just keep ramping it up every single time. There's no DQ. You just keep hitting them. Just keep hitting them. And every time you get hit,
a point.
It's however many points for how many stalling calls you got hit.
You know,
like wrestle the goddamn match, or not even that. I would like to see a situational stall call. If you're getting hit for a stalling randomly, it's a point at any point in the match, right? Or if you're under 30 seconds in the third period, you're up by 2. Any stalling in the third period is 2 points.
How about
every time?
Or we do this. What are your thoughts on this? We take away stalling and we incorporate passivity.
Or you get hit for stalling, you lose your writing time.
Fair. I have another hot take real quick. I want to bring it up.
I love it. Do it.
I want to bring it up.
We're on a roll. Make it happen.
The wrestler that is winning at the end of the first period should have choice in the second.
Say again. I missed it. Say it again.
The wrestler. So in a wrestling match, to decide who gets choice in the second and third period, you flip a coin, right? Mm-hmm. Going around on social media right now is that the wrestler who is winning in the first period should have choice in the second. If it's tied, then it goes to a coin flip. But if the wrestler is winning at the end of the first, they should have choice in the second.
Okay.
And Chris is very knowledgeable in the sport. Like, we all know this, and I like bringing these up to him. He's thinking. He is in pondering mode, Coach.
I think every period should start neutral.
Chris
Every
don't know how to
neutral.
think. He's probably got to take a shit.
I think we should get rid of the choice period and every period start neutral.
Really?
I think there should be no choice, right? Because think about how strategy goes, right? Think about it.
Track strategy, yeah. If I'm
Oh, hey,
wrestling,
Chris, say that again.
I said think about strategy, right?
No, before that,
If you-
what was your answer again?
I think every period should start in neutral. There should be no choice.
it's interesting.
What about
Can I
momentum?
say that?
What about momentum? If a fighter's dominating, if a wrestler's dominating, right? Then you got to make it neutral again. He lose all that momentum.
He's got something to say about strategy.
Well,
Because there's match strategy.
the wrestler could pick neutral to begin with, and the wrestler could defer, right?
Mhm.
And let the other guy pick, just like the coin flip in football.
Yeah.
But so the momentum stops in between periods regardless. Because it resets at the end of the period anyways, right? The reason I say every period should start neutral, fuck a coin flip. Screw all that, right? How many times have you seen a match where a wrestler's winning because he hasn't got put on bottom the whole match because the other guy can't take him down, but the other wrestler is a phenomenal top wrestler.
He just won't go
So
down.
he just waits to the third period and picks top, and then wins the match because he just turns the guy 2 or 3 times.
Happened to me at stake.
I think he should. I think a good top.
Happened to me at
I
stake.
think a good top wrestler should have to earn
Somebody
it by
catch a
taking
bullet
the-
behind that shit.
I think a good top wrestler should have to earn it by earning a takedown. Why should I reward a good top wrestler with top position when at no point in the match has he ever taken me down?
I mean,
Screw that. You want to get on top? Take me down. You want that riding time? You want that riding time? Take me down.
Marv on Kick says we should take away coin toss and make it rock, paper, scissors. But no, that's
No,
just
I'm just saying, like, if you're good at a position in wrestling and that position's not neutral, you usually have to earn it by
Instead of
figuring
just
out how to
having
be
it as a
good at
choice.
neutral and taking the other wrestler down and score fucking points first.
I think that's actually valid.
You want riding time? Take me down, bro. You can't take me down? Why should I have to be forced to go down so you can get your riding time or maybe get a turn? Fuck you. Take me down.
You know, we're on a roll. I got another one.
All right, let's do it. I got another beer to drink anyway. Let's do it.
Somebody said, this is the last one of the night, guys. I know our stream is a bit long, but we had a little problem in the beginning, but not even a problem. But we're the problem.
No,
That's
we
right.
made it
We're
work.
making-
No, F that. We made it work. Keep going.
We made it work.
We're making lemonade
So,
out of lemons, motherfucker.
Here's another one. In folk style wrestling, going out of bounds happens a ton. And that's just in the sport of wrestling. But if you think about folk
Way
style
too
wrestling,
much.
there's no. Should a step out point be added in folk style?
No,
No.
because you can't do it with college out of bounds.
The college out of bounds is crazy.
You can't do a step out because
Well-
the action is still live.
Well, that's where the thing. We take away all out of bounds rules and we add the step out rule.
I would just prefer to see an absolute guaranteed fleeing the mat call if you step
Fleeing the
out of
mat
bounds on
call?
your own power. If you're both in neutral and you go out of bounds, or if someone shoots on you and has a leg and you scoot to the edge of the mat and go out of bounds, it should just be automatic 1 point fleeing the mat.
Automatic.
Automatic. Just change the rule and be like, if you go out of bounds to defend or on your own power,
Or you run someone out of bounds. You know, someone stands up and you run them out of bounds, right? And what do you call that?
the problem is that's hard to tell if you're running them out of bounds or they are running out of bounds.
running out
right?
of bounds.
But that's already stalling in wrestling. Someone's getting hit for it anyway.
Yeah, someone's getting hit for it.
At least the second time it happens. I would just like to see it be like, I would just like to see the fleeing the mat rule clarified to where if you go out of bounds on your own power in the neutral position, or you make an action to take your body out of bounds in a defensive position, it should be automatic fleeing the mat 1 point reset neutral.
Okay.
Because I agree. I hate it watching these dudes just straight up back up to the fucking edge.
They go out of bounds a lot
then-
in folk style.
And then they just wrestle on the edge because they know if the guy can shoot, they can just sprawl with 90% of their body out of bounds and just keep scooting. And keep as long as you got a whizzer in, you can just scoot all
just
day out of
scoot.
bounds.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Chew the
Flee in the
clock.
mat, 1 point, get your ass back up on your feet.
Okay.
I think that's a much cleaner and a much easier thing for a ref to call than, okay, if I'm wrestling, you shoot a single leg, I sprawl, I get a whizzer in, and I'm defending a shot, but now I'm completely out of bounds. You got my foot. You bring me back up to my feet on a single. Now I'm on my foot. I'm completely out of bounds, and I just throw your foot out of bounds because I'm tired of fighting the shot.
Yeah.
Or I'm trying to drag you in, or I'm trying to do this, or I'm trying to do that. Like, what's the ref supposed to call? Is it a step out now that I brought you back up to your feet? Because in freestyle it is.
Mm-hmm. It is.
Right? If you're both on the ground, I have a single leg, and I pick you up. I stand you up.
And we go out of bounds. That's a point for me.
Well, even if you're already out of bounds, if I then stand you up with 1 foot out, it's a step out.
But if we're on the ground, it's called grounding, and there's no point.
Right. It's too.
Yeah, I don't think a push-out point should be added to
Get rid of all the bullshit, subjective shit.
All right. Again, I said last one, but I have one more. We're on a roll. This one, I was coming across all sorts of hot takes, and we've got plenty to go. And Chris has his own that we'll dive deep in later. But this is the last one of the night. In a big wrestling bracket, when I say big, we'll say 32-man plus, right? An NCAA Division I college bracket, right?
33-man bracket.
33-man bracket. The wrestler that loses his first or second match, but wrestles all the way back and gets third, is more impressive than a wrestler that wins or gets second.
I'm going to say that there is nothing more impressive than winning.
But really, I agree. But then we'll say this. We'll reword that. Wrestling all the way back and getting third is more impressive than getting second or making it to the finals.
That part I agree with.
Coach, for you not know, if a wrestler loses his first or second match, they have to wrestle 2 times the amount of matches
Oh yeah, no,
to
I
get
know.
third.
I know.
Yeah.
And like I said, and Jeff has a point because the pressure of coming back when you know the odds of coming
And
back, I think it's more
one,
impressive.
done.
I think it's more impressive. I think it's
third-
more. Like I said, once you got momentum, you can keep momentum. Once you have a strategy that's working and you can keep working that strategy, you can strategy your way to the gold medal. But when you got to make adjustments all the way through because you lost early, that's grind right there.
I have a different hot take on that though.
You have a different hot take.
Yeah.
It's
No.
Do I think third's more impressive than second?
Depends on how you get third.
Physically, yes, because sometimes let's be honest, one side of the bracket's pretty stacked, the other side's pretty dog shit,
There you go.
and you get plenty of guys wrestling for second that probably
Shouldn't be there.
wouldn't podium if the bracket was set up correctly,
Yeah.
right? So, and then you get these big ass gigantic mismatches, aka like the Indiana State Finals, the way they seed is dog shit.
Yeah, that's
Right? So you get stupidly unbalanced brackets sometimes.
Yeah, that's
You get crazy quarter brackets,
that's a whole nother
and
conversation in its own.
and it fucks the whole thing up, right?
You could have a state finals match as Saturday morning's match.
Yeah, it's dumb as shit, right? But brackets end up like that a lot of times, right? Sometimes in the Indiana State Finals, getting fifth is more impressive than getting third,
Well, yeah.
or sometimes getting the third is more impressive than getting second
Well,
or getting.
As soon as you make it to the semifinals, you're automatically top 4.
Right, which is silly,
Yeah,
also, right?
that's-
Right, but tangent. But my hot take is that in the NCAA finals, in the NCAA tournament, there should be no bonus points in the consolation bracket.
No bonus points.
You got twice as many matches.
I mean, so
You got twice as many matches to score points.
if that would be implemented, that would I think it would take a lot of.
Think about it. If you had 10 wrestlers wrestle back to third,
That's what Penn State.
you would win a national title with 0 national champions.
If they lost, that's what Penn State did. I mean, not 10, but the last NCAAs, Penn State had 3 or 4 of their top 3 seeded guys lose first or second time, and they wrestled all the way back and got third. I think it was Tyler Kasak, Shane Van Ness.
I'm not just saying it because of Penn State. What I'm saying is there's there's so many more opportunities to get advancement points in the consolation bracket.
So consolation bracket, no team points, no bonus points.
No bonus points. Now, I could take a step further and you only get team points if you podium. So all your that's a motorcycle. So every match between and the consolations until you get to the blood round. The blood round is where you can start scoring team points in the consolation bracket.
That's such a fun round.
Only because like why should you get more points than my guy because my guy went 1 and 2 and your guy went 2 and 2? Like fuck you. That's stupid. You should only get points for you should only score points for the guys in the consolation to get on the podium.
I think that's valid.
But if you're going to keep this current scoring system, then get rid of all the pin, tech fall, major bonus points in the consolations.
I agree.
Like the guys losing shouldn't help you more than the guys that are winning.
Agreed.
Because they do. The way the points are set up.
I mean, twice as many matches, twice as many.
Think about
opportunities to get
NCAA
team
tournament
points.
where, okay, if I lose, but I get 5 matches in the consolations, I pin 3 of those guys. That's 6 extra points. For what? For not winning a national title?
Yeah.
Because I get rewarded. My team gets rewarded because I got my ass whooped earlier in the tournament. It's stupid.
Just food for thought,
It's
guys.
as stupid. It's as stupid as nobody in the consolation round at Indiana State gets to score team points for their team. That's what happens. There's no advancement points in the consolation round at state for Indiana, but they crown a team state champ off the individual team points.
I
Right?
didn't even think about that.
Both those things are equally ignorant.
I didn't even think about that.
Right?
Man,
you
wrestling
get
just
you get
hits you going.
nothing for a guy getting third or like ignorant.
Chris, you just helped Jeff's second ball just drop. Congratulations. He just grew up in front of your eyes. Awesome.
Well, he gave me an opportunity to riff on something that I'm very passionate about in about 4 ways in a row.
And I've got plenty of more hot takes that I've got loaded in the chamber. We just
Yeah, let's
It's,
wrap this up. We did a good job. Let's wrap it up.
it's getting late tonight. But those last few thoughts were some food for you guys, and Chris actually did a great job in enlightening all of us, and I do appreciate it.
Hey,
That was
Chris did an awesome job. Chris did
You'll get your
awesome
your
job.
flowers tonight.
Yeah, on the podcast, when we put these on socials, everyone's going to shit all over down my throat for those takes.
Well, I live for those moments, so that's all good for me.
Especially the folk style take. They're going to shit down my fucking throat.
That's just the way she goes. But everybody who tuned in, this was our first dual stream. Didn't go the way we planned, but it ended up working out, and we pivoted, and it
dual
worked
stream
out.
by accident.
Dual stream by accident, but we did it. And I think Levi did lose Marv, but couldn't. I want to say he lost to Dean Hamidi in the finals, or was it Keegan O'Toole? But besides that,
Levi?
yeah, Levi Haynes. I thought he wrestled Dean Hamidi in the finals. Because I know Dean Hamidi took Keegan O'Toole and Levi Haynes out that year.
I thought Levi got third.
He might have got third. And Hamidi beat Keegan O'Toole.
Hamidi beat.
He beat O'Toole, and
Yeah, but I thought he beat O'Toole in the finals.
it might have been that. But nonetheless, I appreciate everybody in the chat on our YouTube and our Kick. You guys were awesome, keeping it active. And next time we won't have a stupid person moment with Kick and dual streaming. And tomorrow, guys, our betting episode. Stay tuned. Our betting analysts will be coming at you with some absolute heat. Make you want to put the rent money on it, and you'll double it.
Don't put your rent money on anything.
But like I said,
go ahead and live without a safety net. Go ahead and put that rent money on it, man. Bump that.
Like
go
I
ahead
said,
and live like you don't care.
some of our picks will be posted, but if you want all the juicy locks, you have to tune into the episode.
Definitely don't put your child support money on it.
Yeah, don't do that. We ain't say go to jail. We just want you to be homeless.
Yes,
Marv,
mortgage.
you ain't got no mortgage.
Come on now. But ladies and gentlemen, it was a great night. Peace out.
Deuces.
Yeah.